What you need to know and tell your child about going back to school. Professor Shaheen Matar has some tips. Know the procedures. According to an article published by the SA Government News Agency, all schools will need to comply with COVID-19 school guidelines contained in a standard operating procedures booklet supplied by the Basic Department of Education. COVID-19 school guidelines for all schools. Regular screening. According to the COVID-19 school guidelines, all learners and staff members will be screened daily. Those with raised temperatures will then be considered for isolation and testing. Sanitizing. Learners will have to wash or sanitize their hands before entering classrooms. At the start of every school day, classrooms will be sanitized. Social distancing plans. The COVID-19 school guidelines cover distancing in class, outside of class, in transport and more. No more than 2 learners may share a desk, with no hugging or handshaking. Extra classes should be arranged in small groups that maintain social distancing. Movement of learners between classes will also be limited. Face masks. Learners and teachers will be expected to wear cloth masks at all times. COVID-19 school transport. Vehicles that transport children will undergo sanitization prior to the start of all trips. All passengers to wear a mask and sanitize their hands on entering the vehicle. Distance between learners in the bus has also been proposed as a measure. Not allowed. All sports matches, choral practices and festivals, estetfits will be prohibited. What can you do as a parent to ensure your child's safety at school? We spoke to Professor Shaheen Matar, an infection prevention and control specialist at Stellenbosch University and head of the IPC unit at Tygerberg Hospital, Cape Town. Here's a summary of Professor Matar's advice. Number 1. Explain hand hygiene to your child. This means washing hands frequently, and especially before and after eating, after using the toilet, and after touching any dirty surfaces. 2. Teach your child how to wear a cloth face mask and try to get your child to understand that it's important he or she doesn't fiddle with it. 3. Explain social distancing and explore the options of playing games where less physical contact is required. 4. Explain that surfaces at school must be kept clean and that surfaces at school must be wiped in the morning and after school. 5. Disinfecting tunnels or any disinfectant in spray form is not advised. Let's take a listen to Professor Shaheen Matar.
As we know that children are not very good at social distancing. So before the children go to school, it's best to advise them on how best they can protect themselves, remain safe, but also carry on interacting with their friends who they haven't seen for months. The first thing that we need to teach the children is about hand hygiene and hand washing. So they need to understand when they have to wash their hands. They should wash their hands as soon as they get to school. If they can't, then they can use an alcohol-based hand rub or a hand sanitizer. They should make sure that when they come back from the playground that they do clean their hands thoroughly and carry out hand hygiene before they go to school. And it also obviously means that they will be taught to carry out hand hygiene before they eat, after they come back from the toilet, or if they have touched any dirty surface. The second aspect that is quite useful for parents is to ensure that the children understand what it's like to wear a face cover, usually a cloth mask, which is quite comfortable and it allows them to breathe better. However, it's still quite restricting. In children who are in remedial, or children who actually don't understand very clearly what's going on, it might be worth considering a face shield, because they don't feel so claustrophobic and they can see through it and they can talk and communicate. However, it's quite important to mention here that face shields are not as protective as cloth masks, but they do the job and it's worth having. The third thing that they need to understand is about social distancing. Now, this is practically impossible. I do understand that, having had children of my own. So the thing to do would be to advise them to play games where they don't have to have physical contact. But it is difficult to do, I understand. The fourth thing is to keep the environment clean. So all the children, teachers, and class monitors should be taught that the surfaces should be wiped down regularly. You can use alcohol-based cleaner, or you can just do it with a damp rag, but all surfaces must be wiped down and clean. For the school authorities, they must have a good clean first thing in the morning before the children come in, and also disinfect all the sites. This is not to use fogging, not to use fumigation, but just to wipe down. And after the children leave and the school is empty, before everybody goes home, they should clean and wipe down again. It's very important that we do not use disinfection in spray form of any kind. This is quite detrimental because all chemicals cause reactions in humans. Disinfectants are not meant to be used on humans, they're only meant to be used on surfaces, and therefore they cause eye irritation, respiratory irritation, which is terrible, and skin disease. So if the children are already in a position where they have a problem, this would be the worst thing that could happen to them. It's not just for the children, but also for the adults. And there is a very clear ministerial committee advisory that says that disinfecting tunnels should be removed from as many public areas as possible, as soon as possible. So spraying is not a good idea. Wiping is the way to go. Wipe down, and as we know, the virus is very sensitive. So when you wipe down with warm water, detergent, or just a detergent and water, and wipe over the surface, it will destroy the envelope of the virus, which allows the virus, which then kills the virus and doesn't allow it to grow. So please bear that in mind. If you're going to use a disinfectant, that's the way to do it. When the child comes home, make sure that the mask is removed as soon as the child comes in, and it is put in a separate container. You can put it in water and a detergent immediately, and the child should wash their hands. If the child is traveling on public transport, please make sure that they understand all these rules. So just to reiterate and to recap, first of all, teach the children before they go that they must try and socially distance as much as they can. They must keep their face covers on, mask or shield, and not fiddle with it. They must make sure that their hands are clean at all times, as much as they possibly can, particularly when they're going to touch their face and their mouth, and that the environment that they are in must be clean. And a reminder to the administration of the school is, please do not spray any disinfectant or chemical in the environment.
Hi guys, this is COVID-19 Back to School checklist. Learn about masks. Have at least 2 cloth masks. Wear the cloth mask all the time. Once you put your mask on, don't touch it until you take it off. Try to only touch the straps. Never pull down your mask, not even to talk. Make sure your mask is washed as soon as you take it off at home. Dry it in the sun and iron it to kill germs. Reminders. Show love to friends and teachers by using the elbow, foot, or Japanese greeting. Don't hug, kiss, or shake hands. Wash hands as often as possible. Keep a distance from your friends is important. Show your child what a 2-meter distance looks like. 2 meters. Important notice. Children who are sick must stay at home.